Morning, Robert. How are you? Can you hear me? Hello, Robert. Can you hear me?
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Robert. Justin, good morning.
Oh, morning. I can hear you, but I'm yet to settle. I'm rushing somewhere, but I'm here. I can hear you very well.
Okay. Justin, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
I still can't wrap my mind.
So let's give it 5 minutes and then we can start.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so let us start. This will be a short session and it will be back and forth one. So feel free to unmute the mic, ask any questions that you might have. And welcome to these sessions, to the ones that have made it. Good morning, Robert, Justin, Paul, and Wanjiku. Habari zenu, habari ya asubuhi.
All I know is that you might have to be there.
Morning to you.
All right, morning, everyone.
Morning.
So today, what we're going to cover is how to improve your CVs using AI, together with how to optimize your LinkedIn and your cover letters. So just to begin, I'd like to ask a question. Does anyone here know how CVs get analyzed nowadays when you're applying for a job? Feel free to unmute. So the question is, does anyone know the CV analysis process when applying for a job?
No.
Yes, Justin?
I don't know.
Okay. So basically, when you're applying for a job, you'd find that maybe there are over 1,000 applicants. So how does human resource get to pick maybe 20 out of 1,000 people? The truth is they don't. What they do is to pass your CVs through an AI, and that AI is what picks up the maybe 20 best CVs using keywords that are there, and they filter out these CVs and you get like the number that you've asked for, whether it's 20 or 30, because at the end of the day, not a human being. It's not a human being that goes through your CVs. It's a AI model. So what we're going to learn is how to use AI as well to get ahead, so that it is AI versus AI. And a feature of that is to know what and how to prepare something called an ATS friendly CV. So this is how an ATS friendly CV is described. So, so can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So most CVs go through an AI system, and this AI system uses something called ATS. So ATS will be this, it's an applicant tracking system. So these are used to filter job applications. This makes this job application filtering process very automated. So what this ATS friendly resume ATS system looks for is CVs that are one, use simple formatting. These are CVs that use clear headings and avoid complex layouts to ensure the resume is scannable. So basically it scans the resume. It will look for relevant keywords. So the keywords that are in the job description you're looking for should be inside your CV. So it will pick up on those relevant keywords. It will look for clear structure. That is, you have to organize your information logically using standard sections. So your CV must be split into sections. That is work, experience, skills, hobbies, whatever, all that. Number two, it looks basic as possible. So avoid graphics when you're building your CVs. So if your CV is ATS friendly, this will increase your chances of being seen by human recruiters because it is going to be filtered and it will pass through the system successfully. And by the end of the day, your CV will finally get to meet a human recruiter. So this is very, very, very important because most people use this system. This applicant tracking system is very hard to do manually. So we are going to learn how to do this using an AI. So for this exercise, we're going to use a ChatGPT. So before that, so let's go to LinkedIn and I'll show you something. So this is a good place as any to start. So you're looking for a job. Let's say data analyst. Let me pick this one. Perfect. So how do you craft a CV? So that's the best place to start. So you have a job and you have I imagine you have a basic CV already that you've made. So that should be one of the requirements. You should have a CV by now. Does anyone here not have a CV in any format? Or is yet to prepare one? Wote mko na CVs, right?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Perfect. So that's a good place to start. So you go to ChatGPT. So the first thing we are going to do is to let ChatGPT do the homework for us. So first, we're going to ask it what? My chat has an issue today. See if I type. So we're asking it what? The hallmarks of a ATS friendly resume. And it will tell us so it's basically what we had seen before. Perfect. So then I will ask it, right? The prompt to prepare ATS friendly resume. And there you have your prompts. So we're making it do all the work for us. So the pattern I'm going to remove is this first part here because I have a CV. I think there's something wrong with ChatGPT. It's not showing the texts that are inside here. Let me just. Oh, I have that. Don't know what's wrong with ChatGPT today. Let's see if we can use another model for this. Let me just try switching to another browser and see if it's going to work. it here. All right, so let's start. So this is my prompt that I've gotten from ChatGPT. You're an expert resume writer specializing in TS friendly. Create a professional resume for me based on the following details and ensure it is optimized for applicant tracking system. So I did open a job application somewhere here. So what you normally do is you take it from here, you copy this entire section, put it in brackets, close the brackets there, and then I'm going to add my CV. And let's see what it does. So what you tell it is, what we did see about the ATS friendly CVs is that they don't do well with images. So I'll tell it, remove the images, produce a word ready version. So let's see what it has, giving you something. Oh, this is perfect. So the only thing it hasn't done is remove these images. I'm going to do. And make it there. So this is actually what an ATS friendly CV looks like. If you're using such a CV that is well structured, little to no images, as we saw before, uses keywords that are in the job description that you've already passed and all that, this CV is sure to pass the this CV is sure to pass the ATS system that they have, at least so that it can get to a human being that is going to look over your CV. So the first step is to make sure that you have a CV that is very ATS friendly, and this is basically the format of an ATS friendly CV. So the hallmarks of ATS friendly CV is that your achievements are measurable. So you have these things like I did this 87% through, I did this by 20%, etc, etc. So that is one thing about an ATS friendly CV. It emphasizes on skills and structure. So the skills that you have, the skills that you use, this should all be there. As you can see, there's even a section for technical skills. So let's just compare this to the job application itself and see what we're missing. Okay, so for one, must have a strong knowledge of SQL. Is it there? It's here. Number two, Power BI, Power Query, Power BI service. Here it is. So if an ATS CV is looking for certain keywords, you'd be sure that they're inside here. Proficient in Microsoft Office tools. Is it here? Databases, business and finance. I can't see it, but that's something I can add. There's proficient in Snowflake. I saw it somewhere here, which is here. And it's here. Bachelor's degree in business analytics, economics and finance. There's a business and finance skill set here. KPIs, commerce metrics, etc. There's also a mention of something to do with retail that I saw here. Wholesale, retail, and e-commerce. Here it is. So this CV mirrors whatever you apply for here. So at a glance, this is already an ATS friendly CV. So let's go to Google and look at ATS friendly resume template. So you can see, as you can see, these templates. Let me just select one. As you can see, the template is basically the same as what we have, where you have clear sections. You have your professional summary, your work experience, your education and skills. So this is an ATS friendly CV. So up to there, any questions? Or is there somewhere you'd like me to repeat? Hello? Okay.
Good to go.
Good to go. Okay. So one thing to note about CVs is that when you're applying for jobs, I'll give you this hack for free. When you're applying for jobs, it's sometimes you have to use different resumes for that, because some jobs are very emphasize on certain skills that your CV may not have indicated, or that your CV does not emphasize on. So in the process of applying for jobs, make sure that each job you're applying for, look at the skill set, or instead of doing it yourself, you can just do as I've done with the ChatGPT. This will help you prepare different kind of CVs for different jobs, because to be honest, CV preparation is a lot of work. That using AI makes it so much easier to apply for different jobs using different CVs. For example, look at this here. It says data analyst, right? And it says we are hiring a commercial data analyst. Now, this is my original CV. So this here is my original CV, but as you look at it, you'll notice one difference here. You see this title. It says that I am a data analyst. However, when you look at the ATS friendly CV, the one that we have used to do, the one that we have done, when you look at the title here, it says I'm a commercial data analyst, data scientist, and a finance professional. Here I just said I'm a data analyst, but when you look at this, it says commercial data analyst. It has added commercial data analyst, and it has also added finance professional. So the reason it has done this is because if you're using an ATS, it's going to it's going to zone in on certain keywords. And one of the keywords, of course, is going to be this here. Very important. It's in bold. Commercial data analyst. Does your CV have anything to do with commercial data and analysis? Yes or no? Are you just a data scientist or a data analyst, plain and simple, or are you a commercial data analyst? So already I have that here in my CV. And then number 2, what are the insights here? You can look at the reporting and analysis, these heads, business insights and decision support. So when you look at this here, you can see finance professional. So that correlates with these two. Now, when you try to dig in deeper, you look at the key skills involved. When you read here what is required of you, etc., etc., it should be here in your CV somewhere here, your technical skills. Then number 2, let's look at the professional summary. Mine did not have a professional summary, and if it did, it has, these two are totally not the same. They communicate different messages. But when you're looking at this, it says I'm a detail-oriented commercial data analyst with a strong finance background and 5+ years of experience in data analysis, reporting, and business decision support, skilled in SQL, etc., and all that. So when you're looking at this CV, it is very well structured, it is simple, and it communicates directly to whatever these people are looking for. So now that I have a CV for this, I might just as well go apply. Just save this. Upload my resume. And if I do get a reply from these guys, I'll be sure to let you guys know. For this job at Dubai. This job is United Arab Emirates. Anyway, I'll finish this application. So this is one way to do it. You start with the CV side. Now, when you're applying for some jobs, you notice that you also need a cover letter. So if you already have a CV, if you're going with the same pattern, that will be the time to ask for a short cover letter for this application. Okay. Where is it? Okay, perfect. So as I read through the cover letter, let's see what it says. I'm excited to apply for the position of commercial data analyst position at ECHO with a strong foundation in finance and over 5 years experience in data analysis, reporting and decision support. I am confident in my ability to deliver actionable insights that will strengthen your wholesale, retail, and e-commerce performance. I like this very much. This is a very good introduction paragraph. It is very specific to the job you're applying for. It is not an generalized. It's not generalized as a cover letter. It is specific. It is addressing the needs of the company. And then here you go on about your experience, blah, blah, blah. Now it's going to help. And then here you have to talk about the company just a little bit. That is the structure of a cover letter. I'm drawn to Echo's commitment to craftsmanship and innovation. I thrive in roles that require cross-channel collaboration, KPI developments, and process automation. I will welcome the opportunity to discuss how my skills in this, and this can contribute to your growth and efficiency. Thank you for considering my application. So this is a good cover letter, and it has given you the addresses that you're supposed to indicate right there and the dates that you're supposed to put there. So what I normally do in this case is I go to Canva. And I look for cover letter template. And I look for the most simplest one to edit, maybe something like this. I customize this template. So I take this. And I put it in there. Wider. Then natoa madoido. Change my name here. And then I make sure to include commercial data analysts. That Nongori, Nyagaka. Then the rest is just all about formatting. So this is the boring part, just to make it look better. Yeah, manager. Sincerely, Ronald. There. Need to space my text. We change it to more readable, divided into paragraphs. And there, if you have something that you're satisfied with, there you already have your yeah, you already have your cover letter. So if the job is actually requiring you to submit one, you already have one. But the beauty of this job application nowadays is that when they ask for things like a cover letter, there's actually a box in your application. So if you're applying for a job, you'd find that there's a place where you upload your CV, but when it comes to the cover letter, there's a place where there's a box where you're allowed to type in or copy paste something that you already have that can pass as a cover letter. So that is how I use AI in my job applications. You'd find that in a day I've prepared 10 different CVs for different job applications. So let's see. Let me look at another job application and see how different it's going to look. Let's see. Here's one. Okay, now for this next part, I'd like someone to volunteer to take us through so that I can see the steps that you take to prepare a CV using AI and using your job application. Is there someone who volunteers ama nichague? Paul, are you with us?
I think, is there another Paul? Ama ni mimi?
Ni wewe.
Yes, I'm here.
So from what umeona saizi, what are the steps you take to apply for a job on LinkedIn using AI? Remember, the CV has to be ATS friendly.
Okay.
And yeah, and as I'm showing you that, I think I need to show you what is not an ATS friendly CV. So an ATS friendly CV is something that looks like this. I usually saw many right here. Let's take a look at this one. Now, this is not an ATS friendly CV. So for one, ni vile imepangwa. You can see that you have your ATS friendly CVs are best when you arrange them vertically, in that you start here from the top going downwards, but not side by side where you have your education at the side, and you have your other things like work experience and references here on the side. And then the icons, these are not ATS friendly. And the picture, of course, the image is not ATS friendly at all. It's good that it is short and straight to the point. However, it has no parameters, it has no percentages, it doesn't show any skill completion and all that. So this is not an ATS friendly CV. It looks good, but when you actually pass it through an ATS, you'll discover that it's going to fail. It won't really get past the AI. So it needs to be as simple as possible. It needs to flow vertically kutoka from top to bottom, not side to side. You have to use less images and icons, and you have to arrange your key points: work experience, education, expertise, language, and align them. So something like this. This is ATS friendly. Okay, so Paul, over to you. How will you start? You can just give me a theoretical breakdown on how you'll start.
Okay. Thanks, Ronald. Probably just a question. As you've said, most of the companies run the CVs through the ATS system. Now, depending if it's a job, like for example, the example that you've shown, which is not ATS friendly, position for something like a graphics designer, does that also apply? Because maybe in my thinking would be you would probably want to show that you have the graphics designer aspect within also that CV. But as you've said, is it also wise or just follow the correct ATS procedure, even if you're applying for jobs which would normally consider certain graphics like web designer, graphics design, and all that?
That is a very good question. Now, you see, the thing with these job applications is that when you're looking at, especially the ones on LinkedIn, unfortunately, the people who are going to be looking at your application are not, how can I say it, human resource. They're human resource. They're not maybe graphic designers themselves. So they wouldn't really know what they're looking at, even if you do include your, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so even if you do include that, they really don't know what to look for, because at the end of the day, you have to get past them so that you can get to a panel of your cohort, of your colleagues who are also graphic designers, because now that will be the real interview, the one face to face, or if it's on phone or if it's on your laptop. Those are the people now you're going to talk to after you've gotten past the initial stage. So the initial stage is the ATS stage. So for that, this is what you'd have. Let me show you. Oh, still here. So when you look at my CV here, you see this section here, the project section.
Yeah.
These are active links. So I imagine for someone like a graphic designer, you do have a portfolio. So there is a difference between a portfolio and your resume. So because you find that in most cases, when you're applying for these jobs, there's that site where you apply for the job, where you attach your resume, then cover letter, and then down there at the bottom, there is like a space where they tell you attach any relevant links, right? So that relevant links will be your portfolio website. So in this case, as much as my CV looks like this, let's see if I have one. I do have a. I wonder if it still works. It's been years since I've been here. So I do have this. I'm not a graphic designer, a data scientist, but as you can see, I do have something that looks like a portfolio website. So this is a very, the job I do is very project based like yours. But how do I get to showcase my work is by having a portfolio website where it leads them now to your actual work, to your showcases, or to the things that you actually want to show them. But it is part and parcel of my CV here. And at the end of the day, when I'm applying for that job, at the bottom there'll be a space for relevant links. So try and limit. Don't put your portfolio or your work on your CV, but you can put links that lead to that portfolio. So that is how you get past the ATS and at the same time get to showcase your work. Because before it gets to maybe, let's say, your people, graphic designers, people who are going to be interviewing you, it has to pass through human resource. And even if your entire work was on your CV, human resource wouldn't know that, okay, this CV looks better than CV A, looks better than CV B, because they don't know what makes a good graphic designer. Because I don't think there's such a thing as a graphic designer human resource. It's just human resource. That same person can work for a tech company, for a graphic design company, can work for a coffee, tea, farm industry kind of company, as in they are very well versed in aspects of human resource. But when it comes to actually evaluating best fit for their companies, they're just looking for the general stuff. If wamepewa list na wameambiwa these are the skills you're looking for, those are the skills that they're going to be looking for. But even if you do attach your work to them, they'll just look at it, but they won't know that your work is better or is better than person B. So as long as you've passed the ATS stage, now your CV will get to be judged by someone who comes from your industry. Now that is someone who is working with human resource to hire you. Now that is in a well-structured company. That is someone who is now working with at the human resource capacity to hire you. Now they know what they're looking for. That is why you're going to include your portfolio website link inside your CV. So if you come from an industry that is more on showcasing your skills, make sure you have a portfolio website that does that for you. Don't put it in your CV, just put the link to that website. It's fun and they really like looking at this kind of stuff. The moment you give them this, it's an open and shut meaning. And this is just a basic because I'm not really a web designer or anything. So I just tried using the best way I knew how to. But I'm sure for a graphic designer, it will look much more, much more better than this. So keep the link in your CV, but don't showcase the work in your CV. Unless you're sure you're not using an ATS. Now, in that case, that will be when email. If you're sending your CV by email, most of the time it won't be going through an ATS system. So know how to balance your applications. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Okay, I think that's very insightful. Thank you for sharing. Probably just a follow-up question on what you've actually addressed. I think as you are speaking, you are answering most of them. And the one that probably is a bit pending is especially for people who need to showcase their work. And I think there's a rising need for more and more people as we are venturing towards the digital space. There's more and more need of people showcasing what they've done, the projects that they're doing. Now, for the portfolio website, as you've put it, is there a way maybe we can probably have a session on that so that you can also sell yourself? No, you cannot sell yourself short, so that you can also show some of your cases. Because if I can use an example of mine is being in the bit of the graphics design space, I do have things that I've worked on, but then if someone asks me for a portfolio, what I probably do have is maybe something like a PDF where I can input some of the posters that I've done there and some of the events that they are running. But then I don't have like an active kind of a website that can actually portray this is the work that can do. In the website rather can be able to be a place where I can be able to sell myself better. And once you've been able to sell yourself better, that means you stand a better chance to getting more better opportunities. And that means more better opportunities means more money, depending on also the level of work that you're doing, and getting more people, more eyeballs on your content, and ideally on your portfolio. So maybe what would be your thoughts on that?
That's a good question. Actually, there are two ways to do it. One is a very easy way, which I'm going to show you. Now, I hope most of you are on LinkedIn. So when you're talking about showcasing your work, it's when we say building public. So what I mean by this, apart from having a portfolio website, what recruiters are going to look for is this. LinkedIn is a job platform. So LinkedIn actually offers a way that you can showcase your work. Just a minute. For example, this is my my LinkedIn feed. So when you look at this page, can someone tell me what you see here? Paul.
Yeah.
What do you see on this page?
Ideally just posts related to data stuff, a lot of it, Power BI and all that.
Yeah, but these are other people's posts, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And what you see is there.
Their portfolio, what they've done.
This is what exactly. This is what they've done. So for example, I'm here, recruiter, and I can see like someone like my net is a bit slow. Someone like Muhammad Kashif. So he did an analysis, and in that analysis, he posted his results. So the steps that he took when doing the analysis. If only this picture will load, but I'm sure this is a dashboard of some sort. So this guy here is actually showcasing his work on LinkedIn. So this is the most straightforward way to actually get eyes on your work. And how do you do that? So you see, when you're showcasing your work, you're creating it as a post on your LinkedIn. However, when you go to your profile, this is my LinkedIn profile. So when I scrolled here, featured. So featured is the my personal projects. So in your case, this will be your graphic designs. So when I look at my features, I can see the things that I've built, and they're all here. So when you want to add something here, let's say you'd add it as either for graphic design. I think that will be media, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd add it, upload it there, and give a brief description of what it is, a topic on what it is, and then post it. And here you'll see it under featured. So if someone is actually interested in you, interested in looking at your work, you can give them a link to your profile page, and they will know to go to the featured section. And here they'll actually see your work, the things that you've been doing. And number two, always remember, after you've published your work on featured, you can also post it. So for example, these are my posts. They're not that many, but they're there. Some have 4 likes, some have 30, some have 20, but people have seen my work, people know what I can do. So if there's a recruiter that is actually interested, when they look at this, they're going to look at my posts and my featured to see if I actually publish my work. So my work is right here in my featured section, all the things that I've ever done. I make sure to post them here. So this is one way to stay visible. They always say build in public. So this is an example of building in public. So you don't need to have a boring LinkedIn profile, but you can actually use it to your advantage. You'd be surprised how many offers you can get by posting something on LinkedIn. You can use it as a social media platform. And most of these posts, apart from the work, I've used AI to curate the post for LinkedIn. For example, this is an AI description. Didn't come up with it. I just uploaded my work and I told ChatGPT, okay, I want to post this 1, 2, and 3. So come up with a LinkedIn post, make it short, make it professional, make it fun. Here, post, there, posted my work. And when you go to the profile, it's here in my activity. So that is one way to advertise your portfolio, and it's free of charge. No websites, no nothing. Just post your work and also include your work in the featured section of your LinkedIn. So in conjunction to that, just go. So when you're looking at your LinkedIn profile, if you have somewhere to take notes, andika. So one thing you need is a badge. You see this top part here. Guys, feel free to unmute your mic. Ndio we go to be ndio tuende na speed kidogo so that I know tuko pamoja. You see this top part here
Yeah.
where it says Ronald Ogoro. Yeah, where it says Ronald Ogoro, blah blah blah. It has the details of what I do. So always make sure that you have a banner And where do you get a banner from? I got mine from Canva. So here you can search for LinkedIn. And there you have your banners. So you can pick one, edit it to fit your taste. And then you upload it and include it here. This makes it look more professional and in a standout. It shows you who you are and what you do at a glance. Number 2, ensure you fill this part here. There's an edit button. So this section says who you are. Apart from your name, here, the headline. It says the kind of things you do, what you do. It says your current position. It says the services you're into, your education, location, etc. Make sure it is complete as it can be. And then when you're done with that, you click on Add Profile section. So an Add a Profile section, most of you will not have these places, will not have this ukuchini. When you scroll down here, we find that most people hawana about, they don't have services, featured, activity, even experience. Because this is not automatic that when you sign into LinkedIn, it's going to be there. You actually have to add it manually. So how you do that is you go to the Add Profile section. And you click on what you want to add. So for what we have discussed is, for Paul, you need a featured section here. So you click on Add Featured. If you can click on Add Projects, which I've added, Add Courses, Add Recommendations, and all that. So you are adding those sections and filling them in. So you see, this is my featured section. This is what it looks like in full. So these are the places that recruiters are actually going to be interested in. So let's go back to the.
Ronald, just to add on to that, for the certification that we anticipate to get, where do we also add that as well?
So when you go here to profile section, when you click at profile section, you can see licenses and certifications.
Okay.
So when you add that, let's see, since I've already added mine, there's featured, there's activity, there's experience, and there's education, licenses and certification here.
Okay.
So here are all my licenses and certifications. So when I click on add, the name of the certificate, the organization should be Softuni, the issue date, etc., and all this other stuff. The skills you learned from that, the media, now this will be the certificate itself. Add it there, and there you have your licenses and certifications done. So here is every certification I've ever earned. So this is on optimizing your LinkedIn profile. It's basically, one, have a professional picture to use here, this section here. This section here, have a professional picture. Number 2, if you deal mostly in projects, add a project section. As you can see, I have a project section here, and you can add your projects and what they're about. You can use AI to help you write brief descriptions on them. Upload any necessary documents that are there. Number 2, remember to post your work on LinkedIn. So anytime you're done with a project or a personal project, it's always good to post your work to showcase your skills. All right. What is this additional? Then number 3, your licenses and certification. Make sure you add that part. Add all the licenses and certifications that you have that are relevant. So you have your featured, you have your education section where you'll add Softuni, the one that you've done now. Okay. And then you have your experience section. I think these are now basic stuff zinakwanga kwa CV. And then my favorite part, the activity and the featured section. Now this is what will get you jobs and gigs. So this is when you're using LinkedIn as your portfolio.
Okay.
So if you go to your featured page, yeah, basically you're going to give out this link here that will lead to your directly to your portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is one way to do it. Another way to create a portfolio website, especially if you're not you don't have the like technical skills to do it from scratch, is just Google portfolio templates. Now this is more of a DIY, do it yourself kind of thing. And it takes a lot of time, probably a week of trial. But at the end of the day, you'll have a working portfolio website free of charge. But it is this is something I have to show you how to do from the start, because what you're basically doing here, for example, let's say this one. So what you're basically doing is you're downloading this. I don't want to go through that entire process. Let me see if there's another site. HTML. This one, HTML5. So what is happening here is you're using a template that is already complete. The only thing you have to do, there it's downloading. So the only thing you have to do is to edit the images and edit the text. And then when you're done with that, you publish it somewhere and it becomes a fully functional website. So once you get this, you're just going to replace the images. So if you're a graphic designer, you replace whatever here with your designs, brief description, etc, etc, like that. And there you have a full page. You have your name, place for your, someone to send you, to get in touch with you. You have your socials here, etc. It's sometimes it's really straightforward. It's just a lot of work, but it's fun. If it's something that once you do once, unashika, and then it becomes easier the next time you do it. So this is something I can show you in a separate class, but it does involve a bit of code. Kidogo tu, sio mingi. Yeah, but you can do it even without without a tech background. Yeah, so optimize your LinkedIn profiles, add these sections, make sure you post your work as regularly as possible. And LinkedIn is not the only way you can do it. You can do this in Twitter as well. Post your work on Twitter and see if it gets any traction. Post your work on TikTok. Nowadays, my feed has a lot of software developers and graphic designers. I do see them. And then another one is you can build a portfolio website. But all in all, where did we start off? It was on the ATS friendly CV. So at the end of the day, when you're applying for this job, make sure your CV is ATS friendly, apply for the jobs, pass through the ATS section, and then someone will look at your, more often than not, you'll find that once you've been selected, a recruiter will look at your LinkedIn history or your Twitter history. And once they look through that, they should see that you've been posting about your work, because that makes you stand out. It makes you better than person B, because they see that you can actually do the job. So those are basic steps it takes to make you more marketable, because competition, I tell you, is stiff out here. So how do you stand out? You might be very skilled, but if your CV is terrible, one, if you don't post your work on LinkedIn too, no amount of connections or skill will get you noticed. That's unfortunate, but that's the truth. So you have to stand out. I wish we had more time. We could go deeper into this, but I open the floor for questions before we close.
Maybe I can start.
Oh, yes.
Okay, no, I can go second. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, mine is just a little bit. I wanted to find out because recently, someone I know told me their LinkedIn account was hacked. Is there any security measures that was hacked? Hackers like got into the LinkedIn and they made a mess out of it. It had to be closed by LinkedIn. So I'm wondering, is there a way of securing this and other, or what should be done?
Well, for one, when it comes to security, one of the easiest way someone can hack your account if you have poor password management. So that is if you have logged into LinkedIn before somewhere, and you know when you log into a site, it will save your password. So if you've been logging into different devices or you use the same password across your devices, you know, something like LinkedIn I can access on my phone, I can access on my different web browsers na inaingia bila kuniitisha password. So mbona nimeingia na hajaitisha password? So the only way to manage security on your LinkedIn from the user side, not from LinkedIn side, is to manage your passwords effectively. Have a good, strong password. Don't save your passwords on a website. When it asks you, should we save this password? Don't. Because someone who knows your computer PIN can access that password. Don't log in on foreign devices. That is a device yenye si yako. Friends or at work or whatever, don't log in. It'll keep that password and logging in itakuwa very automatic. Two, you can turn on the two-word authentication. I wonder if I have one. Hiyo yenye ukilogin inakuonyesha pia kwa simu. I don't know if it can be done in LinkedIn. I've never really explored it. Two-factor authentication. Let's see. Unaona hii two-step verification, very important. Turn it on. Okay. That means when somebody tries to get into your account, it will ask you on your phone. And as long as they do not have your phone, then they can't log into your account. So turn this on. Yeah. Apart from that, if everything is okay, then and somebody still hacks, the problem is not you, it's LinkedIn security on their side. So there's nothing you can do if it's in that situation, unfortunately. But do everything you can from your side first.
Okay.
Yeah. Paul, I believe you had a question.
Yes, thank you for the session, Ronald. My question was the second website that you used apart from Figma. What was its name? I wasn't able to see it clearly.
It was HTML5. This one.
HTML5. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
HTML5. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Welcome. All right. Any more questions before we close?
I have a question. Yes, so I'm just seeing your point of reference ni za wale watu wako na job za IT, graphic designing, yours data analytics, but what of us wenye hatuna like projects that would be like, for me a biomedical engineer, your hands on hakuna project. Okay, there are some projects you can post, I have, but then see often as your jobs you get. So what of us wenye hatuna like projects za kupost link zetu ni katu zile like manual labor, like how do you go about with your LinkedIn profile, TikTok, and also creating a CV.
Now, actually, that's very interesting you say that, because as much as I've focused on that, it's because that's what is mostly on my LinkedIn feed. However, when I scroll through my LinkedIn feed, I can see people posting that are not from the tech field at all, even nurses and doctors. And what do they post about? They post about their professional experiences. They post about tips. They post about medical tips and whatnot. They post about their fields and what they do. No matter how boring it is, usiogope, just post it. It will reach the right person. It doesn't have to be a project. It can be an educational post on what you do. Even unaona zile posts za a day in the life of etc. Hizo, see, you get them, and they are not anti-tech people. That is a post as well. So as much as you don't have a project to showcase, you can showcase what you do. You can still showcase what you do. And the best part about it, use AI. So for example, let's say I'm a nurse. Create daily LinkedIn posts for me. That will let me mark table. Make it professional. Unaona, post idea too. Unaona kama hii. Now, this is now for a nurse. Did you know high blood pressure is one of the most salient? So if you have this post, you can expand on it with the AI, with the maybe ChatGPT. Ongeze more context.
Okay.
You see, now this is just an example. Prevention is better than cure. Just keep posting. You know how you'd post on social media. Now try to do the post, but make it about your career, what you do, and make it more professional. Let's see if we can find someone who buy my feed image to take. But let's see. Now, when you, for example, look at this person, this is a design leadership at Apple, creative direction. Now, all seem to a tech, name to a design, but look at the post. You can clearly tell that he posts imekuwa curated na AI. Because when you look at what I may post, it's something that you get from an AI, but regardless, I may post nakona 1,200 likes. Just give me a minute. Nakuja. Sorry for that. So, as I was saying, you can see that there are many other people that are not on tech that actually do posts. So, yeah. So another way to do it is to search for people in your industry and see what they actually post. What do you do?
I am a biomedical engineer.
So let's look at biomedical engineering posts. Unaona kama hii 171 likes. So people do post.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just to talk about your work, talk about the things you do, the things that you can actually teach us from a biomedical engineering perspective, things that you know that we'd be interested in, things that we can read about. So yeah, it doesn't have to be ati watu wa tech ndio wana benefit from this peke yake. So you too can benefit from that. So this is aside from the posting or being public or having a professional inaitwaje social media presence. Another way, you talked about CV preparation. It's exactly the same as the example I showed in the morning. So like when you're here, you look at a job. There are not that many, but you take what you have exactly the same way. You go to ChatGPT, say create a CV. So your prompt should be much better than this. Acha nitafute the one I had before. Let's see. Nini yenye inasumbua wapi? How is it? Shuffle. So then you prompt it, tuambie. TS file format. Avoid images and icons. Make it 2 pages max. Now, because I don't have I don't have a biomedical engineering resume yenye ningepea ndio nifilie hizi details hapa hivi, but you see it's already giving you something.
So how do you add the CV?
Yeah,
how do you add the CV? Like if I had mine.
You see this plus button here, add files and more. Then you select add photos and files. Alafu na attach. Hivyo tu. And then everything else remains the same. Then ikikutolea itakuwa imefill hizi parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, alright. Okay.
Yeah, so that's basically it's the same process. And there you have your CV. You see here. Biomedical engineer, cardiac services, assisted in, supported, etc., gained exposure, education. It has your education, your certifications, your projects, professional affiliations, etc. Then you transport this to a Word document and save as a PDF. Any more questions? Right. So I hope you have gained something from this short session. I wish it was longer so that we can go a little bit deeper. But hopefully, if you guys are with our next cohort, there is courses we're offering for October you can check on the site. If you're still interested in learning how to curate your CVs, your resumes, your cover letters, we'll go over this, but in more detail. We'll do more examples. But I hope I've left you with an idea of what you need to do, especially on your LinkedIn profiles, on your personal CVs, and also the tips that I've given you. Number one, don't use the same CV for different jobs. Okay. Number two, remember that your CVs are going to be processed through an ATS system. So make it as ATS friendly as possible. And coming up with a new CV every time can take less than 10 minutes for each job application that you do. So if you want to increase your chances of getting a job, if you're applying online via LinkedIn, number one, make sure your profile section is up to date. It looks good. It has a LinkedIn banner. It has a professional picture. It has your certifications, your education, add your featured section, post about the work that you do on a daily basis. That's how people get to know you. That's how you get known. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you will be approached first by a recruiter rather than the other way around. I personally have been approached sometimes by people who want me to do for them one or two things because I post my work, personal work, not the work I do for people. My personal projects, I post them I try on a weekly basis. So always remember that. And there's more than one way to something, but with the advent of AI, use it to your advantage. Come up with posts, use AI to do that. So you can post these posts on TikTok or on Twitter, your media of choice, if not LinkedIn. Yeah. So any more questions before we close? Kama mko sawa? Perfect. So you guys have a lovely weekend. Try it out, see how you can edit your present CV and see if applying for jobs the way I've taught you actually makes a difference compared to how you've been doing it before. So acha niwachie weekend, please work on your profiles, and if you feel you have something that you want me to see, maybe if you've worked on a profile, you can send me your LinkedIn profile and I'll look at it, and then tunaweza ona how we can help each other. Okay. And know that easy services people actually pay. So you don't have to pay 10,000 for someone to do this for you. So kenye tumefanya leo ndio what someone who you pay 10,000 for CV upgrade and LinkedIn, whatever will do. So musidanganyike kutoboka 8,000 for something you can actually